Good morning, my fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. It is I, and I am Guy. I'm coming to you live from Applewood Station, where it is a lovely 11 degrees Celsius, and all is wonderful in the world. We are going to be working today on objects, probably objects in space. Did not actually do its job because you pulled it this way. There you go. I use the Boolean tool a lot to make things happen. Today's object is a relatively simple one. I'm making the chest of drawers from my childhood, which ended up a long time ago being thrown out because it was too big and too bulky and nobody wanted to deal with it and yada yada yada. And now I regret that because I could really use chest of drawers right now. But alas and alack, I will not have it because of the way of the world. So now I am doing the regret thing where I regret throwing things out, which I was hoping not to ever have happen, but here we are. So, looking around. That's weird. And somewhere I have a picture of my bedroom from when I was a kid. I'm looking for it now. Or maybe this is just kind of a lost cause here. Who knew? I feel like this is at a different. Yeah. Guess I don't have a picture. Here, I thought I did, but I don't. Yep. And that's fine. There were 2 large drawers on the bottom that went all the way across. It consumed it. I don't think I've ever seen that happen, but okay. It's almost like it was like, nah, no more. Stop doing that. Or 2 long drawers went up here. This is getting weird. Yeah, that's the something weird that has occurred. Why did that happen? Created a duplicate. But, you know, weird. Sometimes Booleans cause objects to be insane. And especially things that are didn't do it. I think I even saw the error. You know. No, you can't do that. That's why. There we go. Now what we've built is just effectively my chest of drawers when I was a child. And you may ask yourself, why do I do these things? Really, the truth is that a long, long time ago, and I didn't get one of the drawers, of course, that's even weirder. I think somewhere along the line, it really got annoyed by some function of Boolean. Which is fine. Booleans are hard for 3D programs. They always have been. Hasn't gotten easier because of the age of things. There we go. Now we'll do this the right way. Because, of course, the nature of this, there was like these posts that I remember between all of the pieces of it. Moreover, things like between these two, there's a long brass bar. Nightbot got you. Bot versus bot. An amazing bot conflict. What I want to know is who thinks these links work? I mean, I guess they only have to work once. Hey, Brent. All goes well, relatively speaking. I've got to go get a permit today, and I'm not necessarily looking forward to that. Permits, I mean, not that they're bad per se, just kind of going, well, you know, yeah, the dumb furnace, that's exactly what we got to do. Furnace died out. That means we got to replace it. And James will only be here until the middle of January, or June, till the middle of June, at which time he is shipping out. So, if I want James to help me with it, it's got to be done today. So I'm going to go down to the city hall and actually requisition the permit while I can. So I mean, like, the idea being that I'll go to city hall and sit on somebody's desk, thus making it easy for me to get the permit. So that's my thought process here. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Actually, it's going to cost us less now because we found, and I cannot believe that I'm about to say this, we found out that the heat pump that we're looking for is about $3,500 on Amazon. Like, I'm not even really sure how to handle that one. Did that make it all the way through? Did it really? It did. Well, be darned. So, I actually am thinking I'm going to order my heat pump from Amazon. And because it costs about $1,000 less than it does to order it from Lowe's, which I'm sure is entertainingly awesome for Lowe's. I'm sure they're ecstatic to know that. But yeah, then I'm going to well, what else was I going to say? I mean, I'm just still kind of failed to set value. That means you are trying to Boolean an object that's already Booleanable or something. Who knows what? All right, fine, cancel. You cannot Boolean this object because the object is exactly the same. Has the same spots. But yeah, I'm not even really sure how to accept that thought process that. There we go. I don't know how to accept the process that it is cheaper. Did it do it right? No, see, you're not doing it, weirdo. I guess you are kind of doing it. No, you're doing it. You're fine. Okay, I'm open. You can do that. You should have been here last night after the show. Jackson and I got into a fascinating discussion about AI. And it was very interesting. I mean, all of us have a very strong opinion of AI. Certainly. And that makes some sense. It is, it's it is the reason why I'm no longer doing artwork except my own. Well, and of course, commission work I will happily do. So, but it was an interesting discussion about AI. So, and we talked about a lot of it because I really started asking the questions after the or during the show yesterday. Because the question I had, that didn't do it, did it? You didn't do it. Onion, Boolean, you. Take it, apply. Because, I mean, there we go. My thoughts were not assuaged, so to speak. All right. Certainly serviceable. So it was an interesting discussion that we were having. What is, I mean, like a lot of it was on the principle and the concept of what is AI? Okay. Have not seen that, but I can follow you. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. So you want a caricature of you, in essence, a brenticature. That works. I will do that for you at some point. That sounds like a wonderful idea. Are you planning on doing YouTube videos on things like the status of war and stuff? Because I see that being a pretty cool thing. Or not the status of war per se, but you get the idea. I think you'd do fine on that. That'd be wonderful. If an open source version of Character Animator, could stand to find that myself, by the way. If you would mind DMing me that link, that'd be awesome. Because in my grand scheme to ultimately get rid of all Adobe products, Character Animator is one of the sticklers. Why I'm stuck still using Adobe products. So if you DM me that would be way cool. Smart homes, which, that's part of the cool of what I'm doing is I'll be able to finally put that Nest in that I've been wanting to do. Been meaning to do that for a very long time. That's all right. Just when you've got a moment, my friend, please. It's not urgent or anything, but it would be one more step away from having to deal with stupid Adobe, which we all know I love so very much. Yeah, I believe so. Not sure either, but I have one, and it sits downstairs. So, and has been forever. But my brutally ancient, my very, very ancient furnace downstairs couldn't even recognize it. So, and you're right, I have no earthly idea. It may or may not work. We don't know. But the problem is this: at some point in time during the production or during the whole thing where they were putting in the solar panels and everything like that, the guys came over to put in a Nest to run um, to run the house's heating system, and then they discovered that my heater was so old it didn't have the actual required power lines to do it. And they said, well, in this instance, we'd have to charge you an extra, $2,000 or whatever to put in the. Yeah. Well, and this is a thing that I'm going to do. I mean, there's no messing around with this. At some point in time, I'm going to automate my entire house. So it may be time for me to get a core unit and start. Yep, exactly. Have L cars for it and everything. That'd be fine. I'd be all about that. Yeah, I know how that goes. But congratulations on the new job. I don't think I heard that part, which was cool. Nice. It's actually good to hear. Oh, that's always a plus. That's a big plus. That's good to hear. Hey, Warlord. How are you doing? It's a 3D model of a chest of drawers. Not the world's worst, most exciting thing. But sometimes you have to make the mundane things in life. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. Double check it to make sure it looks good. So we've got a set of drawers here, and we're putting in the handles. Like I said, not always the most exciting thing. How you doing today? Smoke coming out of your charger? That doesn't sound good. That, in fact, sounds remarkably bad. Yeah, be careful. It was burning inside? Oh, that's not good. I hope all is well. As long as you throw that one out. I like the, it's fine. What could possibly go wrong? All right, you deal with worse. I guess I should say I'm not terribly worried about you dealing with worse. I'm worried about you, having to worry, having to fight a fire, I guess. I'll duplicate the object, and then I'll shrink this guy down. Oof. That's not good, bro. That's not good at all. Your TV just like gave up the ghost all of a sudden? Out of the blue? Ugh. What am I doing here? I'm like, what am I doing? Does anybody know what I'm doing? I don't think I know what I'm doing. Starting to feel old over here. Because I'm like 50 years old. Although, to be fair, the biggest discussion we're having right now is the fact that I need to replace my furnace. Because my furnace is 50 years old. And thus, now needs to be replaced. So, in a way, we're in the same boat. Stop spamming symbols, says the Nightbot. What does that mean? IR 50. I am technically going to be 52 this year. I like the Nightbots. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I can totally appreciate that. Nice to hear. I'm still trying to figure out how Nightbot thought that symbols were a bad thing, but that's, I'm sitting here going, well, Nightbot's got his own issues, I guess. Please feel free to spam symbols. I just don't know why Nightbot's sensitive about it. Hey, see you in a sec, Brent. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I lucked out. My hair went gray really early. I think I was 27 when my hair went gray. However, short of my hair going gray in my 20s, I pretty much look the same as I did in my 20s. I don't look much different at all. And that's interesting and I don't know, kind of weird. Yeah, but I never went bald. Thank goodness, I guess. I don't know if I thank goodness on that one, but I think I want this to go all the way through. There we go. And then we'll just knock this one out. Take a Boolean to it. Difference. And knock that out of it. Apply. We shouldn't need this guy anymore. And that's what we're looking for. Oh, there you go. The whole plug just went down, huh? Oof. Sorry, bro. Just lining that up to be centered. And then we're going to put it back here in the middle of there. Go to the front. Center it in the middle of that drawer. Yeah. Check houses that are 50 tend to have aluminum wiring. And aluminum wiring doesn't do anybody any good. One of those great things we were like, oh, it'd be great. We'll make our wiring out of aluminum. That's nice. Check to see if your house is running aluminum wiring. Nope. We're on the wrong side for this one. Here. Boolean, onion, you. Yeah. Nope. Gotta pay attention here. Gotta pay attention. Boolean, onion, you. I'm sorry to hear that, though. It's going well. I've got a call for. Speaking of things like that, I've got to go down to City Hall at some point today and get a permit because of my furnace. My furnace finally gave up the ghost and died. And my best friend is an engineer. And so he's like, we can just put in a new one, but you got to go get the permits for it. So I got to go get the permits for it. So that's my job for today once we're done here. So I'm going to have to get the permits for that. There we go. I think. It looks pretty decent. So I'm in Denver, Colorado. Where are you from? Where do you hail from? I keep asking people, where do they hail from? Other side of the earth. Yep, we got a few folks that come in here and visit us from the other side of the earth. What other side of the earth are you from? We've got one person who may show up a little later on today who's from Mongolia. Sometimes I have a viewer that comes in from Sweden, which we may or may not see, because people are they do their things. They got stuff to do, lives to lead. But that makes it the middle of the night for you. Oh, you're in Cyprus. Nice. The Mediterranean. I just spent an inordinate amount of time studying about your history not very long ago in this last semester of college, because I'm back in college to learn anthropology, and one of the anthropological disciplines is archaeology. And there is a lot of history in Cyprus. A lot of history. So I'm going back to college. I went to college and I got a degree in art and everything like that. And the world's changing. And unfortunately, artists we're going to get run out of business here, I think. So I'm back in school to do something else. And now I'm going to do anthropology. Yeah, you have a lot of history there on Cyprus. I am still working on the sea people. So we were working on not just Cyprus, but Egypt and that whole area. And Egypt has a lot of dynasties, right? The sea people were real. But what was their name? Their name was the Sea People. And I'm like, they were not the Sea People. They had to have had a real name. And everybody's like, well, we don't know. They could have been from Thrace, or they could have been from... And I'm like, because they probably came up from further north. And it's still very funny to me. I'm like, the Sea People. They were just called the Sea People. And I'm like, guys, they had to have had a real name. No, we just call them the Sea People. So, I totally believe that they were real. I have a problem, right? They come from the sea. There was Atlantis. But I mean, like, I totally believe that the Sea People were real. I just don't believe that was their name. They had to have had a real name. And so now I kind of want to know what their real name was. And so, but archaeologically, nobody knows what their real name was. So that's sort of an issue. Scientifically, we don't know what their name was. And that's part of the problem. And so And of course, science is very precise. And so you can't just call them Bob if their name really wasn't Bob. And so it's just really funny. The sea people were driving me crazy. But yeah, man, there's a lot of history where you live. There's so much history, and it's so interesting. All of it is so very interesting. But that's why I'm into anthropology, is because all of it is so. You have a statue of the sea people. I just. Oh man, can you imagine these guys? Like, they're the terror of everybody in the area, right? Because they've attacked Cyprus, they've attacked Greece, they've attacked Minoa, Thrace. They've gone through even in and attacked the Hittites, and they've attacked the Egyptians, and they are this terror. And they're sitting there going, someday we will be remembered as... And like nobody remembers their name. They're just the sea people. It's just like... Our name shall strike fear. We'll be the sea people forever. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. That's... Oh man, that drove me crazy. Hey Brent, welcome back. We are discussing the sea people. I'm not making fun of the sea people, by the way. Just so that we're all clear here. The sea people were remarkably terrifying and unpleasant. And, you know. Yeah, they followed. But that is actually very interesting. But again, terror of the sea, but we don't remember their names. I'm hoping someday we find an answer to that and learn what the sea people's names were, because they're driving me crazy. See, now we're all talking about the sea people. Yeah, that's the thing. Scientists don't know specifically who the sea people were. They think they may have come from Thera or Thrace, but they could have been Minoans. But they attacked the Minoans. So it's kind of one of those things of, well, maybe they weren't Minoans. Well, I mean, you never know. People could have split from their own people to attack their own people. I am curious what the story is. Well, no, but one of the things that we are learning in school is that you never discount a story, because sometimes those stories have bits that are correct or bits that are true. And if you get enough stories, all the pieces might start to paint a bigger picture. Oh, it was the Turks? Yeah. Istanbul was Constantinople. Istanbul was Constantinople. It's no one's business but the Turks. And who knows? It might have been, for all we know. I mean, like, it's entirely plausible. I don't know. Man, I was going to write a paper on the sea people because they were driving me crazy. And all I found was nobody knows who the sea people were. That's what I found. Nobody really knows who the sea people were. Oh, so they just like came out or went to sea and then just stayed out at sea and never stopped being at sea. That's interesting. and just went back to living on the ocean. So, like, permanent, it would make sense since their name is the Sea People. Like, they don't actually have a home, so you can't really say that they're Thracians or Minoans or, or whatever, because they just lived at sea. Yeah, that makes some sense. And that probably is exactly what they were. Some kind of seafaring group. You may be right. That might, I mean, though that, I'm sitting here saying, gosh, we really need to figure out. But I mean, that may exactly be what happened. No, stop doing that, guy. Yeah, stop doing that. Right? And like I said, I'm not making fun of the Sea People. I'm making fun of the fact that they don't have a name. That's all. Because that bothers me a lot. Like, they're just the Sea People. It doesn't sound very scary. And they were, like, really, really powerful. There was a lot of, they were a terror. So it seems kind of mean to not give them a name. Or maybe that's the whole point. Maybe their name was intentionally forgotten because they were such a terror. Yeah, and they just dwindled away to nothing. Yeah, maybe that's it. The Sea People fascinate me in a way. I mean, they fascinate me, but it's still one of those things where it's like I really want to know what their name was, and it really does bother me that I don't know their name. Um, and that, and yeah, I mean that would make sense too. I mean, they were. If you learned their name, that became the end of you, and now here we are with people in history trying to remember who you were, and you can't be remembered because you killed everybody who learned your name. Well, that's on you guys. You know, can't help you. I like that theory. I would think so. I mean, I would think that somewhere there would be a record of their name, and we'll find it someday. I have faith. We are archaeology is a grand discipline full of a lot of people who really are determined to learn these things. So, yes, that's actually one of the big things. It's kind of one of the reasons why I'm fascinated by the Sea People is they got their butt kicked by the Egyptians, which makes sense. At the time of that particular fight, um, culture had arisen on a number of locations to the point where they were at a society level. right? But the Egyptians did sort of lose their library. There is sort of that. So just saying. Just saying. Don't get too gripey about this. Don't get too cocky down there, Egypt. You lost Alexandria. We're just saying that was an important piece of history there. So Caesar did burn it down in a, but I mean, also, you know, history is history. I am with Dr. Sagan on that one. That one's one of the crimes of history. Like that is a crime. It was a crime against humanity, as a whole. The entirety of humanity. That was a crime against all of them. Yeah, yeah. The Christians have had their moment in the crimes against humanity field as well. We all know that everybody means well. They have a reason for these things. They just sometimes you're like, I don't think you thought that through before you came up with that reason. You know, it's one of those things. History is a very interesting thing, but people are interesting in general. I mean, here we all are hanging out, and I got two of you guys. One of you guys is on Crete, and the other one is in Kansas, and I'm out here in Denver. And it's just so fascinating that here it is. This is the modern world. You know, I think that's cool. There we go. I believe that's pretty close to what I'm looking for. Pretty close. Yes. Yes, you're right. What is really interesting to me is the power of language. Yeah. But also a lot of friendships. And I mean, I worry about that a little bit all the time. We are connected because of the internet. And that's solely the reason we are connected. And we're connected here as a group of people, a group of humans via this internet. And it's such an amazingly powerful thing, but it's fragile. It's super fragile, you know? And that always kind of makes me think, makes me stop and think. Routinely makes me stop and think. I'm always kind of like, huh. Right? Brent used to be here with me in Denver, but then he moved to Kansas and he's still talking to me daily. You're on the other side of the world in the Mediterranean. Oh, man, the weather must be getting, yeah, all these people. But I started getting onto the internet back in the 90s when it was still free nets and things like that, and the big parts of the internet weren't connected yet. And I have buddies whom I met solely on the internet. And I've never met them in real life. and I've never been in the real, together with them in any way in person, but we've known each other over the internet for years and years and years and years. Um, and I consider all of these people pretty much as much my friends as the folks that I see every day and go to the movies with or whatever. Let me move this over just a smidge. Right there. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating to me. The power of the internet, though, is that we can communicate with one another. No, 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 no. That's probably in the right place. Right here? Right here. Ish? Yeah, right there. Because I think there's one extra one. I think I didn't do enough. All right. I'll just have to build another one at some point here. Because I think there's another one in the center. Maybe two more. I think there's two more. Hard to tell because the photograph that I've got, my sister is in the way. I think there's two more. Yeah. Well, and that's not uncommon. I mean, especially like, I don't know how I'm saying it's not uncommon. Like I know what goes on in your country, but because clearly I do. What am I talking about? Yeah, but I mean that's the wild thing about this era. This world we live in now. You can just up and move. I've got a buddy who did pretty much the same thing. She got her degree, she got her doctorate, and then she wanted to go to Oxford. And she's from here in Denver, and just picked up and moved to the UK. And now she works at Oxford. That's what she wanted to do. And, well, I mean, I know about the sea people because I'm now all determined to find their name. It eats at my soul. I'm all bothered by it. Like, why don't we know their name? But I mean, it doesn't mean I know about everything. I happen to have studied the Mediterranean during my archaeology class last semester. So the Mediterranean holds a number of the earliest civilizations, including Crete, which holds some of the earliest civilizations. Where you are is the seat of some of the earliest places where humans built societies. And so, of course, I know about it. It's fascinating. It's this beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful to begin with. The island is gorgeous. Crete is lovely, as is Greece and a lot of the places in the Mediterranean. They're all very, very lovely. Yep, exactly. And you are right in the middle of it. And you can just ask them, what were the sea people's names? There's a guy on the internet. and he needs to know the names of the sea people. I can see that being people going, wait a minute, one more time. Be like, what do you mean that there are sea people? Ah, you will be my ethnographic researcher over there. Thank you. I met this person on the internet. He's interested in the sea people, but he just needs to know their names because it's keeping him up at night. Yeah, well, don't do that. What is his problem? He's an archaeologist. Okay. I'm just imagining Mihawk out there. It's like middle afternoon, and they're out like asking people, "Do you know the name of the sea people?" Met this guy online. He's not able to sleep because he cannot figure out the name of the sea people. Just saying. Here we go. All right. Uh-huh. You have returned. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Welcome back, MD. Unsure. What you might need from me, Brent, is my physical address. I'll give that to you at some point in time, and I'll just PN it to you. Hey, some user, we were just talking about you. In a good way. In a good way, not a bad way. Yeah, we have on here, if you see Warlord Mihawk when they come back, Warlord Mihawk is on Crete. And so we were talking about all the people who are from different places and buddies and friends that I have from all over the world. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, we've got somebody from Sweden who's here, hangs out and visits with us and all kinds of things. Lovely individual who hangs with us a lot. I will be streaming again tomorrow morning. So about this same time. So you're running at about, let's see here. It's about 4:40, 48 there on your side, right, Mihawk? About 4:48, or is it 5:48? Or is it 6:48? Either way, the next stream will be Poseidon's. Okay, okay. That's a Greek name, but that makes sense. That makes some sense. I'm okay with that. I'll roll with this. I'll add that to my ethnography. Some user, we are discussing the sea people because they drove me crazy during archaeology class because we don't know what their name is. They're just called the sea people, which is driving me crazy. So Mihawk is helping me out here and trying to see if anybody locally has a name for them, because Mihawk's in that area. And so now I'm totally obsessed with the sea people. I don't know what my problem is, other than, people fascinate me. All people fascinate me, but specifically, this seems like a grand error in our information. The information of the world. We're missing the information of the sea people. We need to know who these sea people are. Oh, that'd be awesome. So I am at the end of my stream, Mihawk. I will end at 11 o'clock in the morning, Denver time. And it is now 10:49. So I have about 10 more minutes left in my stream. Oh yeah, they robbed everybody for food. They robbed people, they killed people, they were horrible. Like, what they did was brutal. It was just completely brutal. I am not a fan of the sea people. I'm just thinking their name is remarkably dumb. Being called, quote, the sea people. So, but yeah, I will be broadcasting again, this time tomorrow. Take 2 hours away. So 2 hours ago tomorrow. Because where you are, I don't know exactly where Crete is on the time schedule. UK time right now, Greenwich Mean is 5:50 p.m. So Greenwich Mean Time is 5:50, and so that puts you either behind them by an hour or two. Some user, you're behind 1 hour, right? Or are you ahead 1 hour? You're behind 1 hour. Oh man, I can't remember now. See, now I'm all confused. Now all I've done is just managed to confuse myself. That's what I've done. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate the fact that you're willing to go, you know, help me understand or help me answer this question. At least enough that it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be. Is that my cat? George? Where are you, George? No, somebody outside. Hi, Alfie. Bye, Alfie. Crete is GMT +3. So right now it is 8. So 5:52, 6:52, 7:52, 8:52. So it's 8:52 p.m. Good. So we'll be back on tomorrow night. Mihawk, I'll be back on tomorrow night, your time, at 6 o'clock p.m. Or I should be, if we did our math right. However, as I oft make commentary to people here, I am horrible, horrible, horrible at math. I will see you later, Brent. Thank you, Mihawk. Appreciate it. Alfie, I hope you're having a 1951, 7, so 7:51. Yeah, so it's almost 8 o'clock. So, Alfie, I'm glad you're there. I hope you're having a good time at school. Alfie, of course, is over in Australia. So, we get a lot of people from all over the world here on this show. Okay, guys, we are running out of time, and I'm running out of time too. I'm going to try to finish putting all the brass pieces in here because they're brass. And then we'll see what we can do. And then you guys, just you guys. And you guys right here. And you guys. You guys and you. Come down here. And it's you guys. And then I appreciate your help there on this, Mihawk. Thank you. These things are fascinating to me. And you are a different material. I'm going to call you a new material. The base color for you is a gold-ish, because it really was kind of more of a brass. Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow if you're here. That one works. Then we'll assign that to this and see what that looks like. Put it in object mode. Yeah, see, there we go. Look at that. And we have made a simulacrum of my chest of drawers. For, you know. Yeah. And I absolutely 100% agree with that. Some user, you're across the sea in a different nation, in a different continent, and I still consider you part of my village, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, that's important to me. I've got the wrong, these need to be. It's important to me that you're part of my village, as is Brent, as is now Mihawk. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter where we are. And we are all, I believe, sort of the keepers of our humanity heritage, the heritage of people. You know, I also think that the answer to getting rid of war is for all of us to be friends all the way across the world. There's no reason for us to go to war if we're buddies, you know? We might have our differences, we might have our arguments, we might have our complaints, but we're all buddies. And so there's no reason for buddies to go to war. Assign? That didn't work like I wanted it to. Oh, because I am in edit mode. Oh, I am, and I understand that one completely. See, it should be assigning you. Assign, maybe deselect and then assign. Why aren't you working? It's kind of a bummer. I need that centerpiece to be brown. Having a problem with it. All right. Like this, and this, and this. You assign. There we go. That's what we needed to do. It's just clearly having more. Right? And why have war? I mean, like, there's no real I mean, not to sound like a hippie or whatever, but like, I don't there's no reason for war. There isn't. There's just no reason for it. It's not worth it. All it does is make us all sad, you know? And it's all because governments can't agree. But if the only way to stop governments from doing stupid stuff is for all of us to stop, yep, right? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Oh, Lord. War. Dun, 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 dun. What is it good for? I think there was one more in the center, like right here. And I think these were all evenly spaced. It's kind of hard to tell. I think there was 5. Oh, well, we'll get there. Oh, no, it's all good, man. All right. So, this, if you're wondering, is my old chest of drawers that I had in my room 100 years ago. So this is my old chest of drawers. And I rebuilt it in 3D because I got rid of it a long time ago. And now I'm like, dang it, why did I do that to myself? So this was in my bedroom for many, 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 many years. I mean, as in it was in my bedroom. No, that was my sister. That's my sister with her curly bangs that she had to curl every day. And now I have put my sister on there. Isn't that nice? But I keep looking for pictures of my bedroom when I was a kid, of things like that, and I can't find them anymore because nobody took pictures of my bedroom. So before my memory goes away, I want to build my bedroom in 3D and then paint a picture of it so that I can say, this was what my bedroom looked like when I was, when I was a kid. And so I'm going to build in here, and that's what this is. I'm building 3D models of all of the furniture in my bedroom. And then I'm just going to paint a picture at some point in time. And the thing that's funny is that all the different bedrooms that I have had in all of my life, usually my furniture went with me. So once I've got the furniture all figured out, I can just set up the room and paint the picture, and then I'll be fine, because then I'll have it and I can put it with my family history things, and I don't have to worry about it again. But there are worlds and bits and pieces of my life that will never exist again because, they're gone. I mean, these pieces are gone forever, and it doesn't matter to other people. It matters to me, and maybe to my kid. Because this was your dad's bedroom when he was a kid. I'm sure it's not like the most incredible thing that he's ever seen in his life, but hey, could be anything. I feel like if we were to go into this mode or this mode here, we'd find that these drawers are probably a little too high. I think they are. So, and and that's the thing. It's like fine, and it is all okay. Right. And much the same, same thing that I'm doing, which is just looking at these old things and going, "Oh yeah." I mean, look at my sister with her curled hair, and she'd never do that today. No, let's not do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little concerned about doing this way. Maybe I'm just okay with it. These drawers should be about as high as these drawers, but I'm not seeing these drawers being about that high, so it's all right. So it is now 11:03. I have to, at some point in time here, really soon, I'm going to have to go and do the thing with, my, here we go. I'm going to make a new folder in here and call it 3D models. There we go. There we go. Oh, I see what you're saying. What was it I was doing the other day? Oh, I went out on YouTube and found a whole bunch of commercials from the 1980s when they were still doing jingles and things like that. And it was fascinating to me because there were all of these, old jingles that I could still sing, from products that some of them have not existed in 20 years. Some of them vanished completely. And I could still sing their little jingles and, oh yeah, I remember the jingle of that, blah, 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 And that's the same thing. It's kind of like that was kind of fun. And it was a nice walk down memory lane on that one. Always a plus. Yeah. It's a lovely day out there. My camera keeps getting tilted down, but it's a lovely day. Now let's try to turn that this way. There we go. Beautiful day with lots of clouds. Well, not lots of clouds, but we've got blue sky. Although all of those clouds you're looking at right there, they get pretty dark going further back. So it looks like it's probably going to rain. In fact, I think that's what the bottom of my screen is saying. It's 12 degrees, partly sunny with rain coming this afternoon. Yeah, that one never changes. And that's not true. It's changed a couple of times. But now that I think about it, I don't think it's changed in a long time, though. So anyway, yeah. So I have completed my task for this morning. And I have to go to the city hall and get a permit so I can swap out my furnace because my furnace died. And before my roommate, who is an engineer, before he leaves, I want to be able to use him to swap out my furnace since he knows how to do it. So there's that. But it does mean that I'm tootling along and heading away. And even though you just showed up, some user, and I feel kind of bad for leaving you because like you just got here, but I unfortunately cannot stay on for much longer, so I've got to go to the city hall while I can. Shiakusho. In Japanese, the city hall is called the Shiakusho. And so I got to head there. I appreciate you being here. I will see you a little later on, though. I'll be back tomorrow because I've got the whole week. So I will see you later. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me, Brent. Thanks for joining me, Mihawk. We had a couple of other people who showed up here as well, which I really appreciate as usual. And I'm hoping that Mihawk comes back with cool stories. Thanks for joining me, MD. So I appreciate all of you guys for being here. And I'll see you all later. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.